My name is Sarah Bryant, and I'm your Education Director at dbaPlatform, where our mission is to get you found. Now, you already know that DBA is the premier software and solution provider for managing local presence at scale, and of course, winning visibility for your locations on Google, Bing, Apple, all the platforms where consumers are going today in their buying journey. So we have a pretty special program because today we're talking about the Microsoft Premium Dealer Program. And if you work in the automotive industry, this information today that we're doing is really just for you. It's brand new stuff, and you're going to hear it straight from Microsoft. Because joining us today, we have a specialist who's deeply involved in launching new products, verticals, and applications, and she's from Microsoft. So I'm sure you guys have heard some of the buzz that's going on emanating from all of Microsoft's big recent innovations. You know, what they're doing over there is really shaking up the whole search industry. But today we're going to talk about what's the new utility specifically for the vehicle world in ads, in getting found online. So some of our agenda items that you're going to hear about today are the secrets to turbocharging your automotive advertising strategy, the power of local search when it comes to auto, the potential of Microsoft's new auto ecosystem that we're going to see today, and how optimizing your Microsoft profile gets you net new customer searches. We'll talk about how DBA is streamlining all of these solutions and a lot more. Now, let me introduce our education team for today. We have Lizz Callaway, who is a product manager at Microsoft Autos. She specializes in leveraging technology for efficient automotive solutions. Lizz's background is all about launching new products, verticals, and online marketplaces. And just so you know her a little bit outside of work, Lizz's loves are travel, baking, and rugby. So I bet she can beat the heck out of the dough in the kitchen, borrowing from those rugby skills. Welcome, Lizz. And we also have, Chris Lydle, our CEO at dbaPlatform. Before DBA, Chris was at Google for almost 10 years, leading the go-to-market efforts across lots of products. And I'm Sarah Bryant, your session concierge and fellow knowledge seeker in the quest to understand what the heck we're doing today to leverage the digital world and get more consumers on our digital properties and do it easily and automate it and make it happen at scale. So thank you, Chris and Lizz, for coming. What do you have for us?
Well, thanks for hosting, Sarah. And, Lizz is really the star of the show here, but I just want to give a bit of a preamble and just talk about search overall. Microsoft has a bunch of very exciting search products that are specific to the automotive space, but in general, just want to talk a little bit about why search is so important for dealers. And again, these stats are pretty straightforward. We all know that folks are shopping online when they're doing their auto buying. They're going to do their research, and 94% of folks are using online sources. And 80% of folks are finding their car in the course of doing that research. So it's really critical that you capture folks as they're doing research. Pretty obvious.
Can you imagine even buying a car without going online and being like, what do I want? I can't even imagine it. Like, I don't even know if they have like those catalogs at the grocery store anymore, Auto Trader and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's all online, right? I mean, I don't think anyone's printing anything anymore. I think what's great though is what's maybe not as intuitive as we dig into this, when people are doing their research, like what's really valuable to them. And there's a lot of effort put into a lot of different channels, but you can't beat search. Search is the thing that folks really rely on day in, day out for all their shopping needs, but particularly with automotive. So, between the OEM websites and search, and when you think about online video, you're talking primarily about YouTube. We're talking about search and the OEM website primarily. And not to pick at our friends at the marketplaces and social media, but frequently when we talk to dealers and agencies about where they're putting their efforts, there's a lot of effort into these things, right? A lot of effort. We talked to an OEM about how much effort they're putting into social media. They got teams around this. And we ask how much research, how many resources are being applied to search, they start scratching their heads. So this is a missed opportunity, but one that's not too late to capitalize on. And then when you take into account both Google and Microsoft, that's 97% of search. And I'm not really certain what the other 3% is. I guess Ask Jeeves is out there somewhere, and UltraSeek and InfoSeek and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if you cover Google and Microsoft, you're going to be covering search. And both Google and Microsoft, and Liz, you can cover yours. But they both have developed fantastic products to address that consumer. So there's free listings, there's paid listings, and Liz is going to talk a little bit about Microsoft's broader ecosystem.
Chris. Well, appreciate you all having me today. But yes, I would absolutely love to go into more about what we're doing in Microsoft and really what makes us different and why everyone should consider doing something with Microsoft, especially when it pertains to automotive. One more. There we go. So for those not familiar, Microsoft is an entire just organization that has so many different products, and we have so many different users that come to us in different ways, whether it is from start, when they first turn on the computer, we have their news of the day, the articles. We can really personalize that very first page that our users are seeing when they first log in. And again, as Chris mentioned, we also have Bing, which has gotten a little bit of news lately, and for a good reason. We'll get into that a bit more. And then lastly, Edge, which is our browser and our browser experience, which has for the last 9 quarters taken more market share. Granted, we're nowhere near what Google is, but that's not going to be our strong suit. What we want to do is leverage all of these different areas and then some in order to really bring the best experience and features to all of our users wherever they experience automotive. I think we can move on, and I can show you a few other things as well. So AIA, which is our automotive inventory ads. These are your traditional ads that would show for your vehicles. These show up in lots of different places across those entry points, as I mentioned. So AIA being that very first carousel right there at the Bing search, and then more as well from the marketplace, which is part of my team, and what we cover is making sure we have free listings there. So we're wanting to capture all of these different users, how they're doing this. And one of the examples is, okay, I look up Toyota Camry near me within my local Bing search. And if we have inventory from that dealer, we're actually going to line up that little blue car, that inventory button, and bring that marketplace iframe right to them. So they don't even need to get to the listings and the search results. We're going to show them immediately so they can reduce click fatigue, keep them engaged where they are, and make sure that we're not forcing them down a path that they may or not want to go to, but still bring that inventory, bring that dealership right in front of that user that's looking for it.
And I guys just jump in here. This is a fantastic feature. And when we saw it come out, we were really thrilled because we know that when we talk to dealers, this is something that they're looking for. And one of the things that's really exciting with Microsoft is they're always surfacing your inventory in new ways and new exciting ways. So get that feed going, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised when new things like this appear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have just fully embraced everything that we are constantly doing with GPT in general. There's a lot of different things that I'm going to say and things like that. But for this instance, the best part we can talk about is how we use AI-powered chat and what we can do to really bring more simplistic, easier experience to everyone. So the example I wanted to show is one that's actually live right now. You can play with it with your Bing.com. It is open to everyone. You don't need to have anything special now. And in this instance, show me some Honda Civics that are for sale. Great, we can give you those answers. What you see is actually searching the web for you. Again, reducing that navigation shopping time. We're not hiding those other marketplaces. We're making sure that we're presenting all of that there. But if you see that carousel of cars, those are actually the paid ads. And so we have now new surfaces and new users to present all of these different vehicle listings, and they get very specific and very personalized.
And if I can just add a little bit there, I think one thing that I can say that maybe Liz can't, which is that there's with more AI brought in to Bing and to other search engines, folks are more likely to get their answer on the search engine. Yep. So it's more important than ever to make certain that you're part of the game, because if folks are able to ask all these follow-up questions, they might not need to go to a publisher site. They're probably going to get their answers right there.
The best example is when my 64-year-old mother was in town last week and refuses to do anything technology, anything. And she's my typical user. She is my Microsoft user. And as she's coming back from, being overseas and she's in the market for a new car, she literally typed in, what's a good car for a senior citizen, as if she was texting a friend.
Mhm.
What we were able to do within Bing Chat, and I really wish I could have just captured it and taken all the screenshots, was they had just kind of condensed a lot of those articles. Chris, like you're saying, publish your site. She didn't need to navigate to all those different areas, didn't have to read through all of it. They gave her that really brief recap. And then they started saying, well, here are some options for you based on, the Toyota Camry, the Civic, the Subaru, what have you. And then she could ask additional questions, what are the price range that I should expect? And it is very much all the information that in this instance she could find on her own, but because we're making it easier, she's continuing to be engaged and not giving up and seeing more, and we're able to present her and bring her more down funnel in her automotive purchase.
It's fantastic stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
I think the lesson there is that the technology gets more sophisticated to answer the question. And if you are trying to be in that marketplace, you just have to provide everything that you can, right? Every piece of information about every vehicle, about your location, about what's coming, what you've had in the past, all of that stuff, because the search engines are really just trying to make the best answer for people. So you're just trying to be the best answer, be in the right place. And you don't really even need to know how to do that anymore, except to submit your stuff to the platforms, and they'll do it for you.
It's all the things you already have. When you put it in that feed, the ones that we serve up the most are being the most comprehensive listings, because we want to be able to provide those answers to people. So it could be as simple as making sure that the interior features are taken care of, because if someone's searching for a third row seat or something as simple as that, we want to make sure that we're presenting it to the right user and giving that car listing in front of the one who is actually looking for that vehicle.
Mm.
So what we're also seeing here is this is actually our search results page for the automotive marketplace within Microsoft. We do work very closely with, again, the AIAs, the automotive inventory ads. We want to make sure that these vehicles are being seen in that broader audience. So you do have that top carousel of AIA, and then you get into your free listings that we currently host on the marketplace. We have almost 6 million unique VINs. And so there is a very, very vast catalog of inventory out there within Microsoft. As I mentioned earlier, we do want to make sure that we are serving those users wherever they are. In this case, the start homepage. This is when they just first pull up Edge. That top right corner, the yellow square, that is what we call our little autos card. And that's going to be just about 10 to 12 different vehicle listings that we think would actually be something of interest, whether it's based on your behavior, your history, or just what's popular near you. And that see cars near you actually open up the marketplace. But if I love that red Camry, this is exactly what I wanted, that's just one click for me, goes directly to that dealer's website.
Fantastic.
Again, right there in the beginning of our Edge start page, whether you open a new tab or what have you, between your news and your articles, this is going to be completely personalized to how you are. So different modules, whether it's the weather that you see down there or what Russell Wilson's doing recently, it will move based on what your interests are. And so since automotive may be something that your user is looking for, the shopper is looking for, we're going to start serving that up more so that it is top of mind. And our dealers, we want them to be up front and center. Using additional, let's go with power from what we can do with our different tools within Microsoft, in this case, Edge. Edge shopping is a very, very powerful tool, whether you're looking for shoes or a car. We want to do everything we can to make sure that we're providing the most information without overwhelming our users. So we have things like our Edge side pane. So in this case, the user will be looking at a Kia from the Kia OEM website. Take a look. What we can do is provide insights. Here's your range of what you can expect for this vehicle to cost. Obviously, when we get into details, you hover over those bars and let you know different trim packages and things like that. But again, we now have the opportunity to show those listings that we have within our marketplace right there from Edge. when they could have literally just typed in kia.com. We can connect them directly with those dealers based on what they're already doing.
All right. Now the exciting new thing.
Exactly. So we launched about a year ago, and we have been so excited to get all of these learnings out of there. What Microsoft Autos, my team, our goal is to make everything automotive just easier and so much more simple. So we started with our free listings on our marketplace. So if you want to go to the next slide, I can actually show what we have. We've opened up an opportunity for every dealer in not just this country, but about 14 others as well, to send us all their inventory at no cost. They could do that. And what we then do is obviously make sure that we have all of their images, their information about the vehicle, everything you need, and goes directly to that dealership. Because this is a free listing and we're not going to kid around that I still need to make money, we do have those sponsored ads, those AIAs that we talked about before, right there at the top, and making sure that we can see those as well. But that listing is available to our user and they can get to it at no cost to the dealer.
Awesome.
We include things like the vehicle features, as Sarah mentioned earlier, that comprehensiveness is super important. This one's going to get served up, or for someone who may not have included, even the trim level. We see it a lot where we want to make sure that we're taking care of that and providing those tools like that price insight graph, show you kind of where they at compared to the other vehicles we have within our marketplace in that location. And if you hover over those graphs when you get a chance to play with it, you can click on it, say that dark green one with the 53554, it will show you all the listings that we have within that range. So you don't have to do a completely other search. We'll take care of that for you.
So what's so cool about all this too is that Microsoft's being very clever here. First by hiring Liz, obviously, but apart from that, what I'm seeing is that they recognize they're not going to go and conquer the world in all verticals. They're not going after the travel vertical like Google has. Not that they're picking their spots, and you can tell they're putting a lot of resources in the automotive, and as a result, there's many areas where Microsoft just provides a better user experience.
Yeah, a lot of it is to make sure that while we have all this information, it can be a lot. And so depending on the user, there are things we're going to highlight and make sure that they are very, very intuitive, and make sure that that user who is maybe more price sensitive can be better educated. So by the time they get to Hendrik and talk about that truck, from the dealer's perspective, we want you to associate Microsoft with a better, more quality lead.
That's what everybody wants.
Mm-hmm. Now on the fun stuff, this is our new baby that we're very, very proud to announce, which is our premium listings through Microsoft Start Autos. So we can actually go into what we're trying to do here. So to back up a bit, what my whole goal is that I don't need to be another marketplace. I don't need to be a copycat. Let's change what we're doing with everything and how people are connecting to our dealerships, to our OEMs, and more, service, parts, etc. What we want to do is start making it very, very clear on who you're working with. We're going to start putting that dealer up front, make sure that we're seeing that, make sure that they're the center of attention. In seeing that, we want to make sure that we have things like our premium badge. We're instilling trust in our user that this is someone that they should feel confident in interacting with. From our search results, our premium dealers are going to get better ranking, whether it's between the first 6 slots on the marketplace or within Bing, or those cards that I was showing you within the start. And then also we're removing competitor ads. That first carousel we're showing on the listing, let's take all of that attention away from the dealer. No, you're paying us. We want to make sure the focus is on you. You are presenting yourself. We're creating that banner for you, personalizing all those vehicle details and giving you all the different links. Our premium dealers also include, the traditional forms like our CRM form, making sure that those clicks are going there and that we are going to send that traffic on a pay-per-click basis, and really just push a lot more features, a lot more engagement, including video within your carousel right there on your VDP, so that by the time they get to you, you know that this is someone who has been properly educated, making sure that they are the right fit, and that it's a better experience for both the shopper and the dealer. So this is our great example. We have made a couple of changes, but still pretty darn close. So as I was saying earlier, as opposed to that carousel of ads that you notice from the free listings, we create this dealer storefront banner. We're going to allow for not only more personalization, but really present the dealer as the first thing that user sees when they open the VDP. Make sure that they can get to not only the map and send it to their phone, call them directly. With Microsoft users being about 85% desktop versus mobile, we have a lot more features that do focus on our user and making sure that they're able to use different things. But again, you have that contact form, the click directly to that final URL, you go directly to your VDP on your website, but we're laying the foundation for more. And I'm super excited for that part between scheduling service, personalization, announcements, whatever you want to do to make sure that the users we're sending you know who you are in your community. And it's not just, ooh, shiny Audi, that's where I wanted to go, and then I'm done.
Yeah, and one thing I love, about working with Liz and Microsoft is that they're very responsive to what they're hearing from the dealer community, right? And not saying that other folks aren't, but Microsoft is really aggressive here to try to, carve out an important niche. And a lot of that is doing the things that dealers have wanted all along. And we love being able to come back to Liz and say, like, ooh, we got a lot of people that want this, and hearing that it's something that we can talk about.
That's exactly
it does seem more integrated too, like integrated into the user's experience with the start page and the flyouts and the, you know what I mean? That it's just more of an integrated experience, and really catered to the car buying experience, like addressing what people are thinking, asking, looking for, versus just, making it more of the responsibility on the searcher to look for, I want a 1964 Camaro. You know what I mean? This is more like kind of knowing who you are, putting things in front of you for you to respond to and get a feel for, and then, have more trust in, and it just feels more integrated.
Yeah, one of the huge benefits, and Chris and I have talked about this at length, is that I have some of the smartest engineers, data scientists, everyone that I've ever worked with, but because they don't really know more automotive, but they know their user. They know what Microsoft can do. They know what our users like. They know what we can do to really engage them. And a lot of that is making sure that if this is what they want, let's reduce all friction to get them there. But at the same time, because we can create that more fully dynamic, personalized experience, like Sarah, you're saying, you don't have to start all over. You don't have to, oh, what did I search exactly to get down to this filter? It's the, hey, you're already here, but maybe you want a little bit more. We can help you with that, like the price insights or the flyout from, well, I feel like I need to go directly to kia.com to learn all of this. We will still make sure that happens, but let's give you extra tools for things that may not be intuitive on these other sites so that you can get it and you are having a better experience altogether. Because when I sold cars, if someone walked in and couldn't finance milk, I would not want them to waste my time. And I don't feel like that's changed much. So in making sure that we can create better matches, it's going to have happier customers for everyone and dealers and everyone in between. So our goal.
Love it. I mean, I know we certainly don't want to spend a lot of time talking to somebody who isn't ultimately a good fit for us as a company, right? I mean, we're all busy. Yeah. Obviously, dealer salespeople are as well.
Exactly.
So I'm going to take over for a second here and just talk a little bit about the audience, right? That's behind this ecosystem. And it's a different audience. It's a unique audience. And I know a lot about it because I used to be on the Chrome team, and we just spent a lot of time kind of going after this and, and understanding who that Microsoft user is. And to Liz's point, they are more desktop, right? I mean, so there's a couple of different things where you got a Microsoft user, you got a lot of workplace users, right? You've got a lot of folks that they were issued a laptop. It's got Bing as the default homepage, as the default browser, and folks don't like changing that on the admin side. So folks might just be using Bing because that's literally what they've been told to use by their employer, and that's just the way it is. And it's also a great browser, and as they start using it, they like it. There's a lot of frontline workers. So for example, I bought some furniture at IKEA not too long ago, and I spent a little bit of time with their store consultants. and they had a wonderful Windows device that they were helping me out with. And I said, hey, when you guys have free time, do you guys do stuff like search for cars? And they're like, yeah, all the time. When it's slow, we surf. And when they're surfing on a lockdown device like that, they're surfing on Bing, right? So there's some, and then there's obviously folks that, you know, a little bit older audience. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to go through really quickly, just kind of talk about some of the interesting points about this audience. So the one thing is that they're really responsive to the ads, right? So what we've seen is, you know, in looking at the data is that they're 11% more likely to actually respond and buy those brands advertised as opposed to Google shoppers. And that trend has only increased because all this great functionality that Liz is bringing to life is resulting in getting more of what we just discussed, which is the right offer in front of the right shopper. And then the other thing is that, like, Microsoft over-indexes with folks that are actually interested in buying a car. And there's some other things that kind of make that more intuitive. Like, for example, they're a little bit older and they have a little bit more money, so they're more likely to be buying a car. And also, to that point, they're over-indexing on auto shoppers compared to Google. And when you think about it, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. There are some demographic reasons why the Microsoft shopper is more likely to be a vehicle shopper. The other thing is that folks tend to think that maybe you're in one channel or the other. You know, if you're about to make a major investment, like on a $65,000 car, you're going to look at a couple of different locations, and you know that might be a great opportunity for you to try additional search engines. In addition, if you're a worker that's kind of bifurcating your life between your work device and your home device, you might have, you know, Edge on the one, and you got Chrome on the other, and you're going to toggle between those. Now, what's actually interesting, though, I think the second stat in this is more interesting, is that 28% of Microsoft Auto shoppers are only searching on Microsoft. So if you're not on Microsoft, you're going to be missing a bunch of folks. Now, this is my favorite one, because when you almost inevitably, when you talk about, at least before all the buzz and all the sexiness from the chat GPT, but this was always the response. Oh, you mean old people? And my response is always like, yeah, you mean people with money?
Yep.
People who want to buy a car. And like, while it's cool that Google's hip, and I love Google, I was there for quite some time, 39% of their shoppers are under the age of 25, right? Not exactly high income folks ready to sign on the dotted line. So when you look at the, you know, comparative size of the audiences, sure, Google's is bigger, but is the Microsoft audience more relevant in some cases? And if it comes down to the big number, which is, do they got money? Yes, they have more money. They are because they're older, they have more money. Because Google's over-indexing with young people, you got a lot of young folks, students, folks that aren't really making a lot of money. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
I think my favorite bit is a Microsoft user unboxes their PC, turns it on, and that's it.
Yep.
They use Edge, they use Bing, because you know what? They're just searching. They don't know there's a difference. But yes, the browser, the money, the credit score, the more down funnel, it makes a huge difference in the quality of shopper that you actually get when you actually get them through, regardless of what advertising you present to them.
Well, and DBA was a little bit ahead of the curve on this. I know, like, Microsoft has gotten a lot of press on, you know, what has come out with ChatGPT and all the exciting things that are huge game changer. But even before that happened, we had started looking at, you know, using different platforms, and because we're trying to pull together a total solution for people that is like scalable and easy and integrated and streamlined. And so we started doing some testing with the Microsoft inventory stuff. And the truth is, and I've said this before on webinars, I wasn't convinced that that was going to be a great test compared to what we were doing, you know, on the bigger search. But, you know, you test these things, and the most fun is when you get shocked. And we were shocked that the ROI was better. And I think the reason for some of that is that it really is blue ocean. Like, everybody shies away from it because it's not the biggest player. So everybody's kind of optimized. And, it's hard to be an expert at all these different ad platforms. So most people are going to do Facebook and they're going to do Google and, they've got other things. A lot of places are still doing billboards and they're still doing the old stuff. So being online, it's like, I'll do kind of the easy thing. But what that means is there's all these people with browsers and search experience who are never seeing all of that competition that's happening at Google and happening at Facebook. So when you can bring a program over to Bing or the whole Microsoft, suite, it's like uncharted territory. There's nobody competing with you there, which is for automotive, that's a huge plus. And when we were testing, we had no reason to DBA has no reason to bet on any horse, right? We're just trying to find the best solutions for our audience. And but it was shocking.
Yeah, and I think Chris's point about the IKEA thing, if you have Windows and Edge installed for all these workers and they are blocked on Facebook and Kroger's, what have you, that new tab page that we looked at a few slides ago, that's on your work computer too. We can get you there.
That's right.
We call it our lunch break.
It's almost like OTT.
Yeah, we get it all right in front of you. But yeah, we kind of we get to skirt around the fun little blockers that you normally get.
Well, and I'm curious too, because the people that we have with us in the audience today, they're going to be pretty sophisticated, users, searchers, browsers. Sometimes we talk to people, that we work with that don't know the difference between what's a search engine and what's a browser and what's a, what I mean? But the people who are here, they're pretty sophisticated. They know marketing. They know how to do this. And I'm just curious if you guys want to throw in the chat or in the Q&A, do you use these products? Have you used these products? Or are they sort of foreign to you because you did what I did, which is just kind of go the mainstream way and use, the most, the most used products? Because looking at these slides, if you haven't seen this stuff, when I first saw it from you, Liz, it was like, I'm like, what am I looking at? What is the start page? What is a flyout? What is this stuff? Because that's not how I'm used to seeing it. So I'm just curious if you guys want to answer that in the chat and just say, have you been using it?
Yeah, I mean, and on this one last slide, I mean, there's a lot of people using it, right? So, I think when you take into account the totality, we're looking at 45 million shoppers, right? As opposed to Google's, 68 million. So when you really take it all in a totality, there's a great opportunity at Microsoft, and the smart folks have been on it for a while, and we're just trying to, bring the good news to everybody.
Right. This stat, that surprised me, because everybody always thinks, oh, Google huge and Microsoft little, little bits. But for vehicle shoppers, it's pretty darn close now.
It's getting there for sure. That's the plan.
Yeah. So real quick, I'll give a little quick pitch for DBA. We work with Microsoft and Liz really closely. And so if you're interested in the Microsoft dealer program, we are among a small number of early partners to be able to deliver this. And we'd love to work with you. And, like we mentioned earlier, one of the great things about working with DBA Platform is that we do have great relationships with folks like Liz who are receptive to your needs. So we'd love to work with you to get you participating in all these great Microsoft opportunities, and we can do it for you at a great price and do it for you at scale. So all that said, I think we're seeing if we got any questions from the audience.
We have one question from Tommy about sharing the slides from today. And I wrote back to him real quick and I said, I'll check if we can send that out with the recording, but a lot of this stuff is kind of beta. So I'll leave that up to Liz and Chris and put you guys on the spot and see if we can get the slide deck out with our recording.
Yep, no issue from our side. Everything on there is available and live.
I'll have to run it by our compliance team and our legal team and all that stuff. So yeah, we're definitely going to share it as long as Liz is cool with it. We'll be happy to share it with y'all. And and again, if you're an agency and you want to work with us, we can work with you to help you craft your collateral and to make certain that the Microsoft premium dealer program is just part of your arsenal that you're bringing out. So we'd love to work with you in that regard. Yes,
and I want to mention too that if you have questions about this stuff, which I mean, I work at DBA in the SaaS platform doing local search, and I have questions about it, how to implement it, how to do it, what's the best way, how much is it going to cost, what's the ROI? You know, I had a million questions, and I still do. And DBA is here to help you. You know, you can talk to Stacy, our director of sales. You know, we have our Facebook group where you can post questions, but I mean, we're here to help you make the most of what you're trying to do. After the research that we did, my suggestion is to spend, all things being equal, right? I would spend inventory, ad money at Microsoft first because of the blue ocean aspect of it and the ROI that we've seen when we compare apples to apples. But you know, you can talk to us about it, how to do it, what to do, what to submit, how to, you know, fund your stuff. And we have ad experts who have kind of automated this and are spending their days figuring it out so that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You know, we just hired a new SVP of Ad Solutions who's, you know, a 10-year Google, actually a 12-year Google veteran, and is now, you know, going very deep on Microsoft as well. So we're really excited about bringing this, you know, advertising expertise to our partners, and working with Liz and team to make certain that we have all the marketplace capabilities there as well.
Yeah, it's definitely super important for us to have our partners. And like Chris said, we only have a few right now because as this is new, I only called the people I trusted and said, I need not only your good feedback, but I want to know what else is, you know, maybe not the best or not quite working or not really in line with what your clients are trying to accomplish. That's another big part, is making sure that we're providing a solution that actually makes sense. And as we have more stuff, I hope that, you know, as we can open up like our Microsoft My Garage, which is also open, we're going to start opening that up to dealers and OEMs. Hey, we know exactly what our users are parking in their garage. We can get to them in different areas in different ways. But these are things that, because we have this relationship, and then I do with the other couple of partners that we work with, it allows us a more personalized, easier conversation so that Chris can call me and say, hey, this dealer really liked this part, but man, this was a challenge, and allows me to go back to my team and say, this is really high priority. We need to, you know, figure out what we need to do. We need to change the reporting on this. And it makes us more aware so that we can build a better product for everyone else.
Well, and if history is a guide, when these things are new, that's the time to jump into them. That's when people made the biggest ROI doing Google's inventory, because you're the only one there. So you get all the perks, right? And people like Liz go, hey, this, you know, these guys are on the program. Let's give them the extra organic space. Let's give them, you know what I mean? So there is a boost to being there first. If you're willing to do the learning curve, and with DBA making it easy for you, it's kind of a no-brainer. We do have a couple technical questions. One is from an anonymous attendee. If the inventory is already connected to Google, how easy is it to connect to Microsoft? Do you connect once or to all the different Microsoft programs and surfaces? The whole ecosystem at once, or different programs?
Yeah, so at DBA, we get your feed and we distribute it to all the various places it needs to go. Google, you know, the Microsoft Marketplace, and also for AIA. Whereas Google right now, it's one inventory feed for both organic and paid. There are separate feeds on the Microsoft side, but from our perspective, you know, it's all transparent. You get it to us once, and then we get it to where it needs to be from there.
Yep, and we should be able to make that a little bit easier down the line, but couple of things, whether it's the video URL or making sure we have that CRM form. But yes, once DBA gets us that feed, we take it wherever we need to go and put it on those surfaces automatically.
And if I'm correct, and I don't know that I am, Chris, I mean, DBA is not even really, we don't charge extra to send feeds to different places and things like that.
No, it's all like, so what's actually great so far, existing customers, they're going to be able to participate in the new Microsoft Premium program at no additional charge, right? So just like we're going to be rolling out Apple Business Connect, you know, Liz, cover your ears. We're not going to be adding that. So, you know, we think that we're in a competitive environment, and we need to keep adding more functionality and value for our customers. So our general model is we're just going to bring great new functionality and add into your existing packages.
Joe has a question. Is inventory available in Canada
yes.
right now?
So inventory for the free listings are currently available in Canada. We have not rolled out a premium program, but the automotive inventory ads and the free listings for the marketplace both are available in Canada, Great Britain, most of Western Europe, Australia, Japan. We can go on for a while. But the US market is where we do the primarily big pushes to make sure that we're getting all the kinks out before we roll it out to the other markets. And so it kind of trickles down. But all of the
Yeah,
free
but if you're in Canada and we're doing local, right, and there is no ads in Canada, then you can do organic, and you're going to get the highest placement that you can get.
You can do organic, and you can do the AIA, which is that carousel of ads. The premium program with the store banner and the CRM form, that's not quite available there yet. And the other one too is that for free listings in all markets, we also can ingest RVs, boats, motorcycles, power sports, and it's all within the same marketplace. We don't need people to go to different places. So if even your dealer just has a couple motorcycles or you have an entire trailer dealership, we can take that as well.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. So, I think a lot of the auto dealers are pretty savvy to a lot of these opportunities, but some of these folks like the RV dealers and trailers and whatnot have been left out. And so we're excited to be able to come back and help those folks too.
Yeah, well, Microsoft kind of got all this stuff baked all the way for everybody in rolling it out. You know what I mean? So it's hopefully not as many people are getting left out. They get to actually experience it. Another question from an anonymous attendee. We're a marketing agency. Can we use dbaPlatform to resell the Microsoft programs and premium dealer programs to our dealerships?
100%. That's what we do. We work with agencies and to allow them to white label our solutions and provide all those great solutions at scale. So you can go ahead and present it to your customers as you're bringing them the Microsoft Premium Dealer Program, but on the back end, we'll do all the heavy lifting.
That's it for questions. I guess you guys did a great job explaining everything. But
Okay.
nobody has any questions for Chris? Like, dude, who does your hair? Or what is that picture in the background? Or no, nothing?
Those are of particularly huge interest to folks, but I am glad because it looks like folks hung around to the end. So maybe we did answer all the questions.
So proud of us.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'm super excited that you guys had us on. I'm loving everything that we do. And I think that as we continue rolling out more and we're trying to make it more about just all things automotive, I'm going to get everything in the DBA team and they can share it out as well. But stay tuned. We're trying to just really disrupt how people are dealing with cars, trucks, and everything in between. So it's good time. It's so much fun. I'm such a nerd.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so great working with Liz because she really just loves every minute of it. So
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Well, before we go, let me just go to that last slide so we can tell everybody where to go if they have any questions after the fact. Please do join our private Facebook group. It's private, but so if you want to go in there right now, Luke has dropped a link in the chat and you can go there. He's standing by to let you in. And that is moderated by a bunch of our experts here at dbaPlatform who know all about local search. So if you have specific questions, you can always go there and get sent to the place to get the best answer. If you have sales questions, you want to understand the programs better, what they can do for you, then reach out. You can reach directly out to Stacy Hatcher, our director of sales, and her email address is there. Also, Luke will probably drop a link in the chat in case you want to just copy and paste that. Our next webinar is next week, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, when we have our panelist group, our advisory board of local SEO experts. That is a really kind of lively one because we take a lot of questions and answers and unique specific. How do I do this? Why did this happen? What are you seeing? And with everything changing so much, we could do that webinar every week. There's so much going on that people need and want to know. So look for an email invitation coming out probably tomorrow on that. And anything else, Chris? Did I miss anything?
I think we covered it all. Very action-packed session.
All right. And Liz, thank you. It's been so nice getting to know you over these last few months doing programs. And Liz is so smart and present and just a great person to know and reach out to. So thanks for coming and joining us today.
I appreciate it. This has been great. Thank you, everyone.